starting now. Okay, our topic today, measuring and drawing angles. I have some worksheets I prepared, so I would want to show you one or two things about angles so that when I mention those things, they won't be alien. Now, very quickly, if I do this, an angle is usually formed when two or more lines meet at a point. That's a typical definition of an angle. Now, an angle, in this case, an angle is formed, or different types of angles are formed by what we refer to as, these are the arms of the angle. Now, these two lines meet at a point that we refer to as vertex. Now, an angle is formed in the interior and the exterior. In this case, for example, an angle is formed here and another angle is formed just outside. So it's important to mark whatever angle you're referring to. For example, if you get a question where you're supposed to look for this angle, this is an example of an acute angle, for example, so you know what you're measuring. This is an acute angle. And for example, the exterior angle here, acute angles are usually angles greater than 0 but less than 90 degrees. Reflex angle, this is a reflex angle. Reflex angles are angles greater than 180, but of course less than 360. So very quickly, we'll go to the worksheets and you'll see how to measure and draw angles. Now, you make use of a protractor in measuring angles. Now, a protractor or a typical protractor, now there are different types of protractors. This runs, it has threadings from 0 to 180. It has two threadings, 0 to 180 and also 180 to 0 on the same side. Now, one way to measure angles, take note of your vertex, look at the center of your protractor, you place it, make sure it coincides with your vertex. For example, in measuring an angle, not only that, ensure that one of the arms of the angle is also coinciding with the 0. For example, if you want to start from 0. Now, when we go to other angles, you'll see how to measure angles in other ways. But in this, take note, the center of the protractor is at the vertex. One of the arms of the angle is also coinciding with 0. So I trace that 0 all the way, and obviously my angle is 50 degrees. So I have my answer here as 50 degrees. Now, there's another angle here. Obviously, from what you've seen on the board, this should be a reflex angle. Now, I'm talking of the angle outside here. But our protractor is not beyond 180. And remember, a reflex angle is beyond 180 but less than 360. So what can I do? I will need to measure the angle inside, then subtract from 360. For example, I could decide to place the most important thing, the center of my protractor coincides with the vertex. Now I want to measure the angle that is inside. Now, watch me as I do that. Now, one arm, if I'm taking this lower measurement, one arm coincides with 60. I'm going to take a look at the other arm. The other arm obviously is just before 130. It's about 128. So that means the angle runs from 60 to 128. I need to do a quick calculation. So 128 minus 60 degrees. That will give me 68 degrees. That means the angle inside here is 68 degrees. But that's not what I'm supposed to find. I'm supposed to find this angle that is outside. How do I get that? That will be 360 degrees minus 68 degrees. And with a quick calculation, that should give me 292 degrees. 292 degrees. So the angle here is 292 degrees. Okay, now we'll go to the third one. From the look of things, it looks like an obtuse angle. That is an angle greater than 90 but less than 180 degrees. As usual, I take the center of my protractor, I place it at the vertex of the angle. Now I make sure, in this case, one arm is coinciding with 0. I trace it, I keep going, and if I trace my 0, it gets to, from my protractor, 140 degrees. So my answer is 140 degrees. That is it for measuring angles. But on the next worksheet, I'll show you how to draw angles. Now, I have an angle 50 degrees, I have 140, I have 310 degrees. Now, very quickly, this is how you start. With the use of a ruler or even the same protractor, you draw a baseline. You always start from a baseline. Makes your life easy that way. So I regard this as my baseline. Now I want to measure angle 50 degrees. Now I can mark a point. I could decide at the end of the line, beginning of the line, whatever. Okay, I decided, okay, I want to mark my angle right here. I want to mark my vertex right here. Now, I, as usual, place my center of the protractor this way. Now, this side of my protractor is coinciding with 0. Remember, I want to measure 50 degrees. I could decide to start from here too. I just make sure my line is coinciding with 0, but okay, I want to start from here. So this is coinciding with 0. I trace it. I follow that 0 till it gets to 50. I mark the point above 50. Now, this point and this point have to be joined together. Now, because I started from here, my angle went this way. So this is angle 50 degrees. This is angle 50 degrees. Now follow me as I go to 140. Again, I start with my baseline. Just a straight line. Now, I decide, okay, I mark a point on my line. Like I said, it could be at the beginning, it could be at the end, it could be at the center. Just mark a point and make sure your protractor coincides with that point. Now, I want to measure 140 degrees. In order to change your perspective, I measured this, I started from this side. So from the right side, I want to start this from the left side. So I make sure the center of my protractor coincides with the vertex I've marked. Now I make sure this line 2 coincides with 0. Remember, I want to measure 140, so I follow that 0 till it gets to 140. So now, because I started from this line, so my angle goes this way. So this is my angle 140 degrees. That is my angle 140 degrees. Now we go to 310. Now, obviously 310 is above 180, but of course less than 360. Now, like if you did notice with the previous worksheets, we don't, our protractor gets, my protractor here that I'm using gets up to 180. So in order for me to calculate 310, I would need to probably draw the acute angle. How can I get the acute angle? Very quickly, I do my calculation. 360 degrees minus 310 degrees. That gives me 50 degrees. So what I will measure is 50 degrees. So watch me. I draw my baseline as usual. Now I mark a center, as I've been doing, just anyhow. Now remember, I want to measure 50 degrees. So I place the center of my protractor right here. I make sure my 0 in this case coincides with this with the 0 line of the protractor. Now I'm going to calculate 50. So I follow that 0 till it gets to 50. I draw a line from there to the vertex. But this time I started from here, all right, but because it's the reflex angle I'm interested in, so this is what I'm going to mark. Is the angle behind that I'm going to mark. The angle behind is the angle 310 degrees. Remember, this is what I measured. I measured it at 50 because I subtracted 310 from 360 and I got 50 degrees. I measured 50, but the angle the question is asking about is 310 degrees, which is the angle behind. Well, thank you very much. I hope this has been helpful.